So you're probably asking, who is Kim Farington? Well, I can tell you, I am, yes, from Northern Virginia, but I'm actually using that to my advantage once I learned how many people were truly Democrat when I announced I was running as a Republican. But yes, I'm from Fairfax. My husband and I live there. He's a retired Navy veteran. And I have to remind me to tell you that I actually grew up. My parents used to own the fifth largest gun store in Texas. So I am all for the Second Amendment. Also a CPA. I am a small business owner and I'm an inventor, holder of 3 patents. And I'm faith-based along with my husband. So really feel led to take part in this Senate race and why I really feel like I'm going to win with your help, of course. So your next question is probably, why should I vote for Kim Farington? Because I can relate to so many Virginians and I have the unique skills and the expertise to be your next senator in Washington and represent Virginia. I, as a small business owner, can relate to 99.6% of all small businesses that make up Virginia businesses. 99.6%. I struggled with, the same challenges that so many do, making those first payrolls and thriving. So I really want to look out for our small businesses and help them thrive and create those jobs so we can expand that tax base with those new jobs, new hires, and truly make Virginia more affordable. Also, as an inventor, I understand the manufacturing process and I understand the patent process, being the holder of 3 patents. I invented a USB storage case that is actually still sold in Walmart stores and on Walmart.com. If you're interested, a little commercial break there. But I understand manufacturing because I could not find a manufacturer in Virginia. So I really had to understand the manufacturing processes and the different types. I did not go overseas. I actually found a manufacturer in Maryland next door. And so they are manufacturing my product. But what I want to do is, especially in Southwest, take these vacant buildings, these vacant manufacturing buildings that I see as I'm driving through all the different counties in Southwest. And let's incentivize manufacturers to come here, require them to hire permanent Virginia residents so we can create more jobs again, expand that tax base, and really make Virginia more affordable. Unlike Governor Spanberger, who talks about affordability, but then raises taxes and treats businesses out like a $3.4 billion business recently. Yeah. You'll be happy to know that I did sign a pledge that I will not raise income taxes because I actually have a plan to reduce your taxes that nobody else has been talking about. So in my government career, I was also a federal employee for 33 years. And during those 33 years, I saw so much fraud. It's so many inefficiencies. But that's one of the reasons I'm running for U.S. Senate. I was tired of trying to fix things and not being able to because, we've always done it this way. But no, I can save 50% of taxpayer dollars by doing it this way. I love my numbers, CPA, do a cost-benefit analysis. Let's save taxpayer dollars. No, we can't. We've always done it this way. Well, that's why I'm running, because I am going to write the legislation to make that change, those changes, fix those loopholes so the fraudsters aren't taking your taxpayer dollars. I'm going to get that money back for you and put that money back in your wallets. And just as a case in point, when I was working for then Department of Defense, now War, I actually found inefficiencies and was allowed to make changes that were necessary. Accomplishments and results were so notable that the White House noticed and actually asked me to come up to the White House and implement those same changes I did at DOD and implement them federal government-wide. So the Secretary of Defense gave me an Exceptional Civilian Service Medal when I left to work for the White House. And while I was at the White House, I have already saved you over $1 billion taxpayer dollars.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
More to come with me as your U.S. Senator. because that's what I'm going after. So many times we send so many people up to Washington, our elected officials, that don't know. Take a guess at how many CPAs in the last 50 years we have sent to Washington.
Oh, yeah.
Very good point. Just less than a handful
Yeah.
of CPAs because they're lawyers, majority lawyers. I have been trained to follow the money. I have demonstrated that I can follow the money because there are so many fixes I've been able to make to save you taxpayer dollars. And that fraud that I've seen, I have been there. I've seen it. And I'm frustrated by it because I've seen it. And there was nothing I could do. I mean, some of these, you'll appreciate this. Some of the retired annuitants, I used to oversee the $1 trillion trust fund for federal retirees. Balanced that down to a penny. Every day that was balanced down to a penny. And yet what we did was what the actual processes were before I could say something. And I noticed that these annuitants that were getting ongoing payments, some of them, they have to certify every so many years. Well, I was looking at this 96-year-old woman's certification, and it was such a beautiful signature. I said, there is no way that is a 96-year-old woman's signature. But yet I couldn't do anything about it because the laws wouldn't let us share information so I could see if that person truly did deserve those payments. And it was things like that that really bothered me. Said, if I can't fix them in the executive branch, I'm going to run for U.S. Senate. So I retired as the chief financial officer for the First Responder Network Authority, FirstNet Authority. It's the 9/11 Commission recommendation that we have the telecommunications network. So our veterans or police, EMS, fire, can all cut on the same network. And so we built that, developed it, and that was one example of where I was able to look out and understand what our first responders do for us, which is also why I'm looking out for our military civilian experience, and our veterans and our first responders that save our lives. And decided I'm going to retire from federal service. I'm going to write the legislation, get back that fraud, get back that money, close up those loopholes, and really save you your taxpayer dollars.